Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here earlier than expected. The teams were ready to rock and roll, so we got that lobby going. We whipped them into shape. Little House of Cards reference there for you, Merlini.
Whipped?
Yeah, he's the house whip. He pronounces the H's. Whip. Where?
Wouldn't it be whip? Not whip?
Well, he says whip. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know anybody
English
from
is
South
hard.
Carolina. It is hard. It is hard. But we have our second of two matches today. Another best of one in the losers bracket. PSST versus the House is Down THD. This is going to be a good one. Any predictions coming in?
I say PSST.
Yeah,
slightly
stronger.
better. Houses. Well, Pool Sorcery, some Tangos. I thought they mostly lost due to the draft and early play. House is Down. They just had slightly worse execution. I don't know.
Yeah.
House is Down almost won yesterday. Pool Sorcery, some Tangos they weren't that close to winning. They got destroyed by the Naga split push. But at the same time, House is Down. They should have won that game. They had a huge lead. They had like a double hex on they just had it massively, and they just let the other team farm up. So I think that's a way bigger glaring error in their play than what Pool Sorcery some Tangos did to lose the game.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, this is America versus Brazil. Of course, PSST have the United States
matchup.
flag. Yeah, classic matchup. And THD, we've got the Brazilians here on our Radiant side. This draft has already started, Merlini. I vote we take a look. Although, it was going quick. It's always hard to predict the speed of the drafts. You know, sometimes they take forever with the initial bans, and then it goes real quickly. Other times, it's hard to predict. But we're going to hop into it.
So this will be the first Enchantress that we've seen in the Starladder America qualifiers, which is right up their alley. Pool Sorcery System Tangos went with a very 5-man aggressive strategy last time. It didn't work out for them, but they kind of got outplayed. But it's still what they like to do and what they're supposedly good at, I assume. I haven't watched too much of their team. I know a couple of their players, but as far as their overarching play style, it does vary from team to team. House is Down seemed like they were way more 5-man oriented with an Invoker, with a Venomancer yesterday, with a Luna as their choice of carry. So I expect them to draft more. Enchantress for Chen, the most classic matchup in Dota.
First picks as well. This is really rare to see these two first picked in our current meta. It's just not too often you see Chen Enchantress on opposite sides of the coin like this, I mean.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, though.
It is cool. I like it.
I think Last Hit Magic actually has a really good Enchantress in Chen.
Oh, and I also, before I forget, I wanted to mention there is an Epic Meepo player. That Respect ban, that's a real thing. The Morphling fullback from the last game, he's an Epic Meepo player.
Epic Meepo?
Someone tweeted at me and used the word epic. So I haven't seen it, but we were right in our assumption that they had a good Meepo player.
I think Meepo's manageable.
Manageable?
Yeah.
You mean to shut down?
Yeah, to kill.
Yeah, he's pretty weak.
I think
right
like Riki destroys him a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Who else destroys him? Bounty Hunter, Strats, Nyx Assassin. I don't know. Just like the single solo gankers while he's farming and you just keep him down. I don't know. I guess if you have like a super good Meepo player, then and everything else is like not epic.
Well, he can he's just annoying. If you have a really epic Meepo player, you have to focus shutting him down. So it's just like, even if you know what you have to do.
Too.
Yeah, I guess so, but it just takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
To catch those
They
Meepos.
want easy wins.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a mixed pool. You know, when you lose against a really epic Meepo, it's very frustrating. It's very demoralizing. You just think, why didn't we just kill him when he only had 1 shovel instead of 10?
Yeah, that's true. But it's like, well, at the same time, we're like, well, that guy deserved to win. He's a good Meepo player.
Yeah. I don't like playing against him. I just don't like Meepo. He's sort of like Silencer.
I like playing with him, and I was in an off lane one time in a pop, and I was versus a safe lane Meepo and Wisp, and that was like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the dream lane to lane against ever.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's like, what worse duo lane can you think of than Meepo and Wisp? Okay, I was just like, this is the best lane ever.
Yeah. Wow, I've never been that lucky.
Yeah. It happened one time, and I vividly remember this.
One time, one game. There's someone out there right now saying, I was that Meepo. That was me.
And the Wisp. Oh my gosh. I just had a field day. It was the best.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh, the Slark. So, I actually like the Slark pick from PSST. I think yesterday they went with, who was their carry? I don't remember, but it was a Potom, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a Potom? I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
Potom was in the last game.
You have the power to look it up. I'm the one controlling the camera here.
You can look it up too.
You have the.
No one cares about the overlay.
Whoa.
Oh no, they don't have them.
Oh, they're not up.
They're not up.
Oh, was it not tagged in the event properly?
Yeah.
That's a big time bummer.
I don't have the power.
All right.
But anyway, Slark is pretty good. if you have an aggressive strategy, because he can just solo pick off people with Shadow Blade, and he's like a somewhat stronger version of Nyx. He's like weaker early game, less disable, but still achieves the same goal of like solo killing people, and he has way better late game. So he's like a Nyx on steroids, I suppose. Yeah. Very difficult to crowd control him too, especially with Chen and Luna, who don't really have that much crowd control to begin with.
Yeah, picking Luna second like this is. I mean, Chen and Luna are both really good heroes.
I mean, that's their thing, though.
That's
right?
their thing. Those are their heroes.
PSST, they're the aggressive lineup. THD is the 5-man lineup. So Luna is like one of the best 5-man early push carries in the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely a high-value target. I always worry when Luna's picked in this first phase, though, because she's a hero that needs a little bit of space. She needs to come online if she wants to get a Midas.
She needs a team built around her, I think. Like, you can't just throw her in any strategy. But, like, early pushers like Chen, it's a really good lineup.
Yeah, that's true.
If your team is good with Luna, then you can pick it. It only worked for some teams. I would say it's, like, less hero-based than, like, team play-based. And they are the 5-man team.
Okay.
If I had to give a 5-man team to all 8 teams that I saw, yesterday, this would be the #1 5-man team.
Okay, I see where you're
as in they like it the most over anything else.
And there's obvious synergy between Chen and Luna with the aura, all the creeps. It's the very good beginnings of a pushing lineup, and this draft is strikingly similar to what we saw last time.
It was the Invoker, right?
They had I think
they had Invoker, Nature's Prophet.
They had at least these 3 heroes, didn't they? Wasn't there a team? Or am I confusing 2 games? Am I meshing?
There were a lot of games yesterday.
There were too many. They're all running together, but.
This fits into their strategy, except it's not as 5-man-y, but it's still split push, and they have a lot of early split push. Enchantress, Slark, Rubik, not that great at dealing with pushes, not that great at team fight either. So I think that PSST actually has a pretty big glittering weakness in that area, and if the house is down, if they get ahead, they can just crush all their T1s and T2s in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes. But if they get behind, then Pulse Horse System Tangos may not be able to keep their lead because of the strong push.
Yeah, see, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I actually am disagreeing a little bit. There's a lack of control on the THD lineup.
They don't need control.
They don't need control if they can knock the towers down, but just look at the gank potential from PSST. You've got Enchantress, Slark, and Rubik. Those are 3 dirty gankers right there.
They are dirty gankers. Nature's Prophet won't be able to split push, but
Storm Spirit, come on, man. They're slide tackling from behind.
They just 5-man down mid, and then what are you going to do? Like, barrel into an Eclipse? Barrel into a Chen and Creeps? You don't want to do that.
The execution has to be there. I mean, Vengeful Spirit, another one that fits very well with this pushing lineup, and there's some of that control that I'm complaining about here. So
they needed a hero like Ven.
Yeah, so this is a nice addition to their team.
They have so much damage, though. Like, even just right-click, they have Lunar Blessing, and they have Vengeance Aura, and they have all these summons, too.
That's true. Double auras. Maybe we'll see a Dro final pick just for the auras.
That would be ridiculous, except Dro wouldn't fit in the laning phase anywhere. But Shadow Fiend?
Yeah. Well, no, you could put Dro mid, couldn't you?
Dro mid is not very good.
Offlane Nature's Prophet? Well,
it's so-so.
It
would work well in the strategy, though. I would definitely give you that.
I mean, if they wanted Dro, I think they would have to put her mid here.
They could put Luna mid. Luna's not a terrible mid.
Yeah. Or, I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
She's not the greatest, but at least she can make use of mana from Bottle and Runes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she does do well with that solo experience, so that's something. But
ooh, DK, that's a really good ban coming out from PSSD. That's like one of the best pushing solo mids.
There's the Dro.
Oh,
are you kidding?
Dro. Wow.
You're
right.
Merlini, this is exciting. You know, this is one of those things that we talk about. You know, like, oh, if you get the 3 auras, it's crazy. You can push the damage. But no one ever does it. No one has the brass to man up and do it. These guys have balls, and I like that.
That is good. PSSC needs some team fight, like, now, or else their 5-man is just
So what do we have on the field here? Like, is this an Enigma pick coming? No, they can't do that.
No, they need, like...
They need something, though.
Like, a Magnus isn't even enough AoE. They need more AoE damage, because their AoE is just, like, crap. They can't deal with the summons at all. And it's somewhat similar to how we saw THD destroy them yesterday. It was
Beastmaster.
Wow.
Not the team fight that I was thinking of.
They just went all out gank. They're like, screw this. If you want to push, we'll just gank you. But I don't know. It usually works out for the pushers.
This is literally team push versus team gank. Yeah. If we were like drafting, all right, I'm gank, you're push.
It's all on Enchantress. Enchantress has to make a big deal in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. If she doesn't, if she plays passively, then House is Down is just going to be able to farm up their 6, farm up their 7, and then just go down.
I think this is going to be a very momentum-based game. Either the pushing works, or they get ganked and the pushing fails, and they just snowball from all the ganks.
They can't lose their lanes terribly. They can lose their lanes. They just can't lose terribly.
And I think a lot is riding on the back of that Dro. We talked about how she's not the strongest laner, not the best mid-hero.
Yeah, but like Dro, there's only so much you can do with Dro. So like, if she performs poorly, she's expected to perform poorly. Like Chen and Enchantress, you can do so much with them. Like, you can either farm, you can control all 3 lanes, you can stack, you can smoke ink, you can push towers. There's so much you can do with these heroes that those are the heroes that I'm looking for. I expect Dro to just, okay, well, she's just gonna farm up in her lane and be unexciting. But this turned out to be a very exciting draft.
Yeah. So this aura strategy, again, it's something that gets brought up a lot that people talk about, but how strong is it actually? Obviously, on paper, your right clicks are insane. You can just move into towers, but does that actually translate into a winning strategy in the top tier of competition here?
It depends on your execution and how far behind you are. If you can get an early mech, then you can snowball off that. But if the other team has an early mech and they can just man up during your pushes, and they have very good heroes that can like keep you at bay, like Venomancer would be perfect at like stopping their pushes. Not perfect, but like decent at stopping their pushes. They just need some way to delay their push and get them away from the 5-man. There's a 5-man smoke coming up.
Say, are they going to try to roach?
Ooh, their level 1 is so terrible though, with Nature's Prophet, with Treants, with Chen without creeps. Like, at least Enchantress has a slow. Oh, this is going to be a disaster.
Wow, Rubik gets revealed. They're all hiding in the trees. Who are they going to find? Goo's going to be the target of choice. The telekinesis to start it off. That's a dead Vengeful Spirit, and it's not over yet. We've got a 5v5 in the jungle. Storm Spirit takes a spill, as does the Chen. And now Dro, she's in some trouble. A few more auto attacks ought to do it. One more. Who's going to be the one to get it? Those axes will secure the kill. That's a 3-for-1 exchange to get things started, Merlini.
That is very, very good for PSST. And THD, as you said, very momentum-based, and this is not the start that they need. But at the same time, they did get Relic, though. I'm surprised he didn't use his salve. He was very, very stingy with it, actually. He underestimated the right-click potential of Chen with Lunar Blessing.
Yeah. Wow. So what a way for this game to start out. PSST had the right idea to start aggressive, and like you said, they just have such better level 1. I would have thought THD would have handled that a little bit differently in terms of maybe looking to disengage that fight. They could have disengaged. Yeah, and they could have just ran. Instead, they sort of moved in the fog and looked like they wanted to spring a trap, but that obviously backfired.
Yep. And now Enchantress has control of the jungle because of that level 1. And if they repelled Enchantress from the jungle, then THD wouldn't be in a pretty good position to set up for their 5-man push. But because they haven't, now Enchantress is able to put a lot of pressure on this Drought Ranger, on this Vengeful Spirit, and things are going to be very, very bad for them. Tornado already starting out to come. There is a Centaur creep too, so Goody is just getting the best rolls with these creeps.
Yeah. He is in a good position, no doubt about it. So let's see. Let's look at these lanes. We've got a Vengeful Spirit and Luna on our Radiant side down here at the bottom. Huh? Yeah, I
can barely hear them.
I turned them down on our end. They should be coming in loud and clear on the client. There we go. So yeah, with Chen in the jungle, that's part of the problem with well, I guess not. There's junglers on both sides, but sharing the jungle does make this interesting. Chen now has a Dark Troll Summoner, and maybe looking to do some harassment here. Will find himself the Wild Wing Ripper. And not enough damage to take it out, though.
Enchantress, yeah, we'll see if she can do that much. Now, she doesn't really have control of the jungle. This creep has already been taken by them. This creep's been taken by Chen, so there's no big creep that she can get for quite some time. Looks like she might stack Ancients, though, which is very useful for Beastmaster. Beastmaster going with the no summon build at level 3. You can get the value point in Inner Beast, but the Quill Beast is just so incredibly useful that you kind of do want to level up your Call of the Wild as soon as possible. He has the Mohawk. He has a Zangief Beastmaster, man.
Whoa, I've never seen that. That's pretty cool. I like it. He looks almost anti-mage-esque.
He's Zangief, man.
Zangief? What is Zangief?
From Street Fighter.
Oh, I don't.
You never play Street Fighter? Oh my god, dude, he's completely like Zangief.
I don't street fight.
Oh wow, that was like one of my stable games when I played growing up.
Oh, see, I'm not a big fighting game guy. The only fighting
game
I played was Mortal Kombat Trilogy on N64, and that.
Oh, you played Mortal Kombat, but not Street Fighter? What?
Yeah, it was just RNG, man. My friend had the game, and we played it. It wasn't planned out.
RNG. I happened to meet this friend in the real world.
I didn't read any reviews that influenced my my opinion there. But look at this.
There weren't reviews back then.
Grabbing a ghost. Oh, I'm sure there were. IGN existed in the 90s.
Please.
No.
We didn't have the internet.
Well, look at this. He grabbed a ghost. That's not too often you see.
That's the best thing he can grab.
He
can't grab anything.
Frost attack. I mean, it could come in handy. Little
double slow.
Mini Scotty there.
Double slow with if they have Oov too. Orb of Venom plus Enchant plus Scotty slow.
All right, no Orb of Venom quite yet, but it could be a reality here. So how are these lanes looking? Let's take a look at the top. This is the lane we've paid absolutely no attention to. We've got Knive on the Nature's Prophet facing off against Relic on the Storm Spirit. And Storm is in good shape. 20-2 against the 12-1 Nature's Prophet. About what we would expect, but Storm.
Unusual Bassy
start.
build on Storm.
See, he's even laughing at the build. That is interesting. Yeah, I guess looking to push.
He already has good armor. Look at his base armor. He has 6 base armor, which is ridiculous for an Intel hero.
Yeah.
So it's not like he needs that much more armor. If he wants to push away because Nature's Prophet leaves the lane, that's pretty good too.
Oh, Slarky Slark, almost in some trouble. Will pounce back, uses the salve, does survive, but they pressure him hard as the supports leave the lane. And Enchantress here.
They blocked the 4-minute spawn on both of these. That was a big mistake there, Goody. Now he doesn't have a creep access for quite some time.
But he's staying aggressive, and he's also slowing down Shen's farm, which is important.
They have nighttime vision, though.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be an easy gank for them. Yeah, they are slowing down Chen, though.
Yeah, that's something.
They have to be very careful not to overextend, though, because Nave can TP in at any time. I think that's why they're playing so carefully on bottom.
Yeah. So, interesting choice from the Beastmaster here. He did go Arcane Boots as his first item after the bottle. Any thoughts about that as a choice?
Arc Mech is pretty standard on Beastmaster. They don't have a good mech carrier either because Enchantress not getting that much farm. Slark not going to go for one. Storm doesn't go for one. Rubik is not getting any farm. He doesn't even have boots. So I think it's fine. If they want to... Because they need items that can counter the push, right? They need 5-on-5 items, and mech is just incredibly good at that.
That's very true. So this is not a fast Ag Scepter Beastmaster kind of game.
Yeah. It's either... I think it's like a probably Mass Aura game.
Whoa.
Wow, he solo killed with that.
Oh, the double damage, yeah, I was not quite
Yeah, it's like a Arcane Mech Drums Vlad sort of game, I think. And if they can survive that, they can... Ooh.
And here we go, Rubik in big trouble. He'll get caught by the Sprout, and that's, well, an easy kill here for THD. That's part of the problem with Nature's Prophet. He's there even when he's not. When you're playing against him, I mean. It's not a problem when you pick him, but a problem when he's on the opposition.
Middle tower is under attack.
And now THD roaming back mid, so it doesn't look like THD is ready, or THD, the blue. It doesn't look like their team is ready to push just yet. They want to wait for probably like level 6, I'd say on Chen is probably a pretty good time if they want to go that route. They can also go late game too. They have the Luna, they have the Drow Ranger, but if they want a 5-man, they're going to need BKBs. Or sorry, if they want to play late game, they're going to need BKBs on those two.
Yeah. But look at these opening builds here. Luna, 2 points in the Lunar Blessing. That one's not too crazy, but the Dro build is really what I've been looking at. 1-1-3 here at level 6. 3 points in the Precision Aura, so obviously looking for that last hit advantage and also gearing up for some pushing power.
Yeah, look at these heroes. Look how much damage Nature's Prophet does. He has 66 plus 48 with phase. So he's hitting for well over 100 damage at this point in the game.
Yep, and whoa, down bottom, Slark in some trouble. No, scratch that, it's Luna that's in some trouble. She falls, and oh, the Slark, if that had bounced once more, that might have been enough to finish him off, or it would have crippled him, to say the least. Finish him!
Well, looks like Vestius is under some pressure. He gets roared out by Invis, Beastmaster, and another kill by Last Hit Magic.
So all of a sudden, this Beastmaster, he is now 4-0-1. He picked up 2 of the kills.
I like the Beastmaster mid, man. It's so good.
I like it too. Beastmaster is, I think, one of the more underrated heroes that never gets picked. That is certainly
well, now that Alka's nerfed, you will probably start seeing more play.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's a good hero, man. Wow, Midas on Slark. That's unusual, but versus a Chen, it's more standard. So that's...
Okay.
It's acceptable, but at the same time, they still have to be scared of the push. But they're up by 4 kills. They up by a fairly significant gold and experience lead, so I don't really think they're feeling the pressure at all from THD.
Not yet, but oh, Enchantress, you're in some trouble. She gets the Nature's Attendance out, but still not enough to survive the burst. Yeah, come get healed.
She died so fast.
Grave.
She has no HP.
Yeah, she's very, very squishy. She's got 2 GG branches. That's it, in the way of hit points at least. So
not enough.
Looking good for PSST to get things started, 3-6, but they've got the farm where it counts. Look at the net worth chart. Beastmaster off to the races, and Slark and Storm Spirit not too far behind. So they've got a good start here, but again, it's worth reiterating. Momentum is what's key in this game. THD have yet to really come online with what their strategy brings to the table. So as long as they don't fall too far behind, I think they're still within that acceptable level of behind right now where they can push and make that recovery that we were talking about.
Yeah, Finnith is level 6 on the Slark though, and probably looking for some kills. They don't really have anything to deal with a Shadow Dance Slark. I guess maybe defensive swaps, probably Chen heal. Those are like mediocre solutions though.
What's an ideal solution to deal with?
Naga Siren Sleep is really good.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Kinetic Field is also really good to deal with it. Anything like that is just those are like the best though.
The cream of the crop.
Doom is also really good, so he can't Shadow Dance at all.
So your Grey Goose of Slark counters.
Yes. Timbersaw and Shadow Fiend are also really good too because they have massive amounts of AoE. So they don't have any of those like Slark better watch out. He can just go to town during Shadow Dance. Oh, here comes the push.
Yep, we do have a push inbound. 4 members from THD are pressuring this bottom tier 1 tower, and look how quickly it falls. Look at all this plus damage from the auras, the Basilius. They don't have a Wild Wing Ripper, so they could have that toughness aura for them, but
they need that attack speed from the Centaur too.
Yeah.
They don't have a glyph anymore, but one more Axis and this push is going to be quelled.
But look at that up top. PSST had enough space created. They were able to knock down the tower first, actually. One tower fell.
They're getting a little bit too far behind now. Like, they went for a push and they lost a tower and they didn't even take one of their own. So
well, Dro did get the tier 1 mid, and now there's a skirmish. Relic has engaged. The Gust has already been used, and now Dro is in big trouble. You're not escaping that zip, sweetheart. Oh, boy. PSST starting to run away with it a little here, Merlini.
They need a mech on Chen ASAP. I think they should just farm for that and then go for another push. He can probably farm it before the glyph is down. Or glyph is up, rather.
And
looking for a roar. Ruh-roh, goo.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh. Nope. Nope, not quite yet.
They don't have a glyph. I don't think they can defend this. He needs to, like, axe now and then axe again. But I don't know if his cooldown's going to be up by the time they go for the tower.
But that's okay. The mid tier 1 is getting pressured hard. Both Goody and Relic are there. So if they can trade another tier 1 in exchange for just this tier 1, that's going to be a 2 for 1, or 2 for 2 actually. Their mid tier 1 already fell, so at least they're trading evenly with these towers, which is good news. But Goo in big trouble. He will fall. Only level 5 on the Vengeful Spirit. Slark secures that kill, and now THD are on the back foot. They will retreat. Nature's Prophet ports out, and that's where this fight will settle down for now. Whoa, the range on that roar!
Who
oh my
needs Scepter?
I don't know about that. We're dropping frames. That's our network.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Well,
you did your best.
Are we back?
We're back. Did he die? Looked like he died. There was a hasted storm, which probably came in after Centaur Stomp.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're back about. Let's see. We're not dropping frames. All right, we're back, guys. We just had a big internet hiccup here in the studio. So I think we're back. I don't think the stream disconnected. Sorry about that. Hopefully that's isolated.
Bottom tower has
Interesting.
Fallen.
All right.
THD's looking bad, though. They don't have enough towers, and they're trying to split push pressure, but they're also not that farm. Nature's Prophet, he has his Midas in his stash, but hasn't actually used it yet. Luna, nowhere close to drums or BKB. She needs one or the other, or HOD. And Drow Ranger, she has a Midas too, but it's just a Drow Ranger.
It's just a Drow Ranger. What's she going to do with it?
She's not going to do anything versus like a Slark.
Yeah. Oh, they're in big trouble here. 7,500 gold lead already and about a 6,000 experience lead. The scary part here is that PSST, the non-pushing team, are at the tower advantage. It is 1-3 in total tower count right now.
A lot of it has to do with that early skirmish, though. Because of that, PSST was able to control the Radiance jungle, at least for the first 5 or 6 minutes, and slow down THD. Because they weren't level 6 on Chen in that fight. Had he healed the Vengeful Spirit, maybe they could have taken the fight, because it was 4-on-3. But with Vengeful Spirit down, 3-on-3, fighting to the tower, it's just not a winning proposition.
Yeah, and what's sort of ironic is that even though Beastmaster had the mech up for that fight,
here's a smoking through the roof.
He didn't even use it, though, in that last big engage.
He didn't need to.
He didn't, exactly. He didn't even need it. THD were the ones that really needed the mech, but you're right, they did smoke into Roshan here. And I think it may be an uncontested Roche kill. The ward coverage, obviously.
Early Medallion on Goody. It's a smart build.
Yep, doesn't do much when you smoke in.
Oh, they know.
Right.
Oh, no, do they know? He just walked into Roche. They know.
Ooh, yeah,
they have a ward there, and they had a Treant there.
The question is, can they contest? Shen does have a Hand of God available, no mech, first 2 core pieces, but only about a third of the way to that recipe. So I don't think they
THD should really beat the team taking down Roshan, though. With all their mass summons and their mass right-click damage, they should have been able to take it down early, but their 5-man strat has fallen flat, and they're going to pay for their heavy push lineup. Like, their draft is not paying off for them at all now. With only 1 tower down, with Luna very far behind, I don't really see a good way for them to come back in the game because they're far too behind to 5-man. They don't have a mech yet on the Chen either, so if they 5-man, they're just all going to die, and that's not going to happen.
They have the Midas advantage. They have 2 hand of Midas, only 1 on the side of PSST. Maybe they could sit back, try and
their
turtle
gank's
up.
Terrible, though. Like,
farm, yeah.
And I think THD will just get
Dire's
ripped
top
apart by
tower is under
Slark,
attack.
who's probably going Shadow Blade with his 2,800 gold, and a Storm Spirit and a Beastmaster who's over farmed.
Maybe they could stack the Ancients. Luna gets some of those
Yeah.
bouncy glaives going, but yeah, it's looking a little bit dark there.
It's looking very good.
Radiant's
Taking out
bottom
T2s.
tower
Yeah, they're
is
just not going to have the time
Dire's
for it.
top
PSST
tower has
know they
fallen.
need to, they don't want to give them any chance to get back into this game, and they're just going to keep the pressure on, as they well should. They will trade their top tier 1 for a bottom tier 2, it seems, and
Yeah, Beastmaster's not that strong with solo mid, but against a
Radiant's
super weak
bottom
solo
tower
mid like
has
Drow
fallen.
Ranger,
he's just
he's
fine.
out of control. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
They're
they're just
pushing
going to press
base.
forward. Look at this.
Well, there is a Orchid up
Dire's
on
top tower
Relic,
is under attack.
and they also need
That's a
items
fast
on
Orchid.
Vinith too. Vinith actually doesn't have anything. But now the 5-man team is getting 5-man.
Yeah, they really are. Look at this. Glyph used already. The tier 3 in big trouble. There's the mech from PSST. And THD are ready to defend here. They have to be careful for a swap. Venge is level 6, but not a terribly long range on that level 1 nether swap. But PSST, they'll be happy with their spoils, and they will retreat. They forced out the Glyph, did good damage to that tower, and all they paid for it was a tier 1 top.
Yeah, and that's a lot of damage in their T3 that you do not want this early.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's scary. I think if they had an item on Finith, they could probably push into that, but he's just still sitting on Midas Treads and Pro Man Shield.
Yeah. Kind of curious what he's going to grab next. And also the Dire Courier got picked off somewhere. I didn't catch it, but it is on cooldown. So, yeah.
I don't know. Sneaky Nature's Prophet, maybe.
Don't know what happened to their courier. Yeah.
Sneaky NP.
Sneaky, sneaky. Oh, boy. So now that the Glyph is down, though, PSST can feel pretty safe just continuing to pressure, I think. I'm very curious what Slark is going to grab, though. A Shadow Blade makes the most sense, but maybe he's going to do something cheeky, like just right-click a Scotty.
You could also
or
go like BKB. Yeah,
Yeah.
Scotty's not bad either.
BKB's boring, but he might do it.
BKB is boring. BKB's always boring.
Yeah, Shadow Blade or Scotty. I'm holding out for the Scotty, but we'll see. Blink Dagger also up on the Beastmaster now, who is level 11, by the way. That's a level 2 Roar. And it's that much more dirty.
Drow Ranger was her Yasha, but still unable to really find farm anywhere. 0 and 3 and 1 on her.
Ouch. Yeah.
She is number 2 on the CS board right now. Looking at net worth, she is number 4, though. Very far behind the Beastmaster.
Yeah, and then the array of heroes ahead of even the Beastmaster. That's part of the reason why Dro is just not a strong mid hero. I mean, even Beastmaster, he had that double damage rune, Roar, that's just an easy kill. She's got no escape mechanism, and if you're in her face, she doesn't really have much damage either. I don't know. Is Dro weak? Does she need a buff, Merlini?
I think she needs a buff.
You think she needs a
I think
nice
her
run,
ulti
please,
should go back to half agility if there's a hero in range.
instead of 0?
Yeah, I always talk about how crappy Dro is.
I think that would be fair. It seems a little ridiculous that all you have to do is get inside of a 400 area. I mean, that's not very... It's not that hard. That's
Yeah, it isn't
you're-
hard.
that's a lot. Some heroes are... Yeah, that's... Poor Dro.
Yeah, poor Drow. I don't feel bad for the hero though. I remember that patch where Drow and Centaur were changed and her aura was global
Radiant's middle
constantly.
tower
That
is
was
under
the most
attack.
ridiculous thing. The
Yeah.
creeps did like 50 damage.
I
They were
remember
like
that.
mega creeps at like level 7.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous. I remember back when her ult was completely useless. Just the percent chance to one-shot creeps.
Dude, you can farm like a madman.
Yeah, and then what? You don't have any abilities. You just
Well, now she doesn't have any abilities either.
Well, it's
Radiant's
true,
middle
but
tower
I don't know.
is
I always
under
just thought that
attack.
was the most ridiculous ability. Like, yeah, look, I don't have to last hit anymore.
Radiant's
Oh, he's getting
middle
roared in
tower
his
is
face.
Dro,
You are in
Oh.
no man's land, buddy.
Dro, you're in big, big trouble. Oh,
That's not worth the space creation. Maybe people like Nature's Prophet who spend his money and be worth it, but Drow Ranger is sitting on 1,000 gold, most of it unreliable, and her being their late game. Wow, she went a 1-1-4-2 build, so
yeah,
screw Max Silence, screw Max Frost Arrows, I'm just going straight deeps.
straight aura. She went all in for this pushing strap. Sark did go the Shadow Blade, just to finish that train of thought, but he also grabbed himself an Orb of Venom, so I suspect a
That's
Scotty
a super late oov.
maybe inbound. Yeah, ooh.
They're waiting for him.
Oh, Slark, you need to be careful, pal. He does get caught by War Stomp. The damage is enough. Oh, that was a feed.
Wow, why didn't he just shadow dance?
That was just... I guess he wasn't expecting the heroes to be there. Great reaction from
No.
Vestius,
He
though.
could have shadow danced after the he shadow bladed instead of shadow danced,
Oh,
and then he died.
Just a little greedy. Obviously didn't realize there was a sentry down.
Super greedy.
Super greedy.
They were just waiting for him. Just
Yeah.
like, hey, what's up, Slark?
Hey there.
That's exactly what they needed, though.
Hey there, ho there, hi there. Yeah, baby steps. Well, that puts a little dent in the gold graph, but
Radiant's top
not too
tower
much. Still a
is under
very
attack.
rather large hill they need to traverse before turning this one back around. PSST will group up about the top tier 2 tower on the Radiant side of the map, and they're taking her down pretty darn quick. Glyph not up for another 30 seconds or so. Nature's Prophet ulti flies in, but won't do much to repel this push, and that is another
Radiant's
tower
top
down.
tower
So
has
where does that
fallen.
take us in total tower count? It will be 6-3 in the favor of Dire.
6-2.
Dire's
6-2.
bottom tower
Oh,
is
yep,
under
there it is.
attack.
There's groups on there. 6-2. Pardon me.
Wow, he's trying to take out this ancient stack. That is not happening, Nature's Prophet. Hello, creeps.
Yeah, that's a pretty big stack right there too. That's at least a 3 stack, if not a 4. 3 stack.
Dire's
Looks like a
bottom
4 stack.
tower
Yeah,
has
4
been
stack. Yeah,
denied.
that's gonna be a little bit rough.
2 dragons, 1 triceratops, and 1 granite. See, I don't know what they're called.
Thunder Lizard Merlini, hello.
Please. Triceratops.
Actually, Thunder Hide. I wasn't even right. Thunder Hide. They probably can't call it Lizard. I'm sure there's a copyright issue there. Shots fired. So Relic is working towards his Bloodstone here. Does have the Soul Booster in tow already, and Rubik over here now has a gem. So map control already in the favor of PSST. If you look at the vision, there is only 1 Radiant Ward up, and it's up here on the plateau. I like these Radiant Wards as well. It's the little fish. Look at that. Ooh, a little fishy. Oh, he jumps. I didn't know they did that. That's cool.
They're not going to last for that long, though, since he has a gem.
The fish?
On
Oh,
Rubik.
the gem, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This magic carp is destined to be turned into a fillet. No, maybe not.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Soon.
Your time will come, magic
Radiant's
carp.
bottom tower
Storm's
is
huge.
under attack.
Yeah, he's really big,
His net worth is off the charts.
and he's the highest level at 14.
Yeah, he is massive. And the Orchid Bloodstone, too, he's just going to be able to run rampant on their team. Looks like THD is actually doing a very good job of farming around the map, though. Their gold lead, their gold disadvantage has not extended that much in the past 10 minutes. It was
Dire's
at
top
like
tower
7,000
is
10
under
minutes ago.
attack.
Now it's only at 10,000. So that's not bad at all, considering how far behind they are in map control.
Radiant's
Yeah,
bottom
now
tower is
PSST
under
will
attack.
group up about the bottom lane. There is a
Dire's
glyph
top
available,
tower
though this
is under
tower is still
attack.
very weak from that early
Dire's
push.
top tower has
The
fallen.
top tier 2 has fallen before Dro came back, but oh no, this is bad news for THD. The Hand of God comes out, the mech gets popped, Dro still falls. They manage to finish off the Beastmaster to make it a 1-for-1. Dro will buy back just about instantly, and they finish off the Storm Spirit in exchange for their Luna. So a 2-for-2 as now PSST are on the back foot. They will retreat to safety.
Finnith used his Shadow Dance to attack the tower for some reason before his team came in. Like he couldn't go in because he didn't have Shadow Dance up and he's fighting under the tower. So I'm not exactly sure why he did that. I think that Storm and Beastmaster expected more support when Relic jumped in and when Beastmaster roared or blinked in and roared. But Rubik can't really do that much, and Enchantress can't do that much. So it's really on the Slark, and I think push just kind of fell flat because he used his ultimates so preemptively.
Yeah, it was sort of an odd exchange where it seemed they weren't on the same page. PSST didn't have to dive the base quite like that. It almost seemed like they underestimated the amount of healing that Chen can put out.
Yeah, or if they had Aegis, then they can
Yeah.
do that. Or if they had Sark, if Sark were able to contribute a lot of damage, they could have done that. But neither of those were the case.
That wave of terror actually scared me a little bit. I wasn't ready for that, that
You
scream.
got terrified?
Yeah, it was pretty terrifying. Or they could have focused the Chen. That's the other option there. They went for the Dro, a very smart buyback from X here. Didn't hesitate whatsoever, and that did have an impact. So it was a 2-for-2. Forced the buyback from Dro. I guess that means it was slightly in favor of PSST. But I think they could have just finished the tower. They didn't even force out the glyph there. It's still available. So maybe they could have just chipped at the tower, forced the glyph. And
They can
then
do
dive.
Roshan though and take down the tower and like if they kill Dro, it's probably going to be a dead Rax.
Yeah, that's true. Now that her buyback's on cooldown for sure.
She still doesn't even do that much though. Like
The slow is annoying. But she's
it's
not
a level
leveling
one,
it, so it's
it's
not as
11% move speed. That's
All right, you
less
know
than
what?
an oof.
Yeah, 11%. That's not. Yeah, I strike it from the record, Merlini. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
there's
Well, they're
the
waiting.
Scotty.
They're waiting for Roshan. Wow, he is big. Well done.
They're all big. That net worth chart is starting to grow. Of course, the gold graph does not reflect that buyback, so it would appear that THD won that fight, but we know that that's not true because the graph does not show net. It just shows total gold.
Do you think it should?
I think it should show net. Why? You don't think it should? You like total gold?
Mm,
I just don't think total gold is that useful when you have something like net.
They could have both. I think
Both would be a nice compromise.
Yeah.
More is usually better sometimes.
It would just look weird when like people buy back and it just like dips down. I don't know. You're like spending money on stuff though.
Yeah.
It's not like the gold disappears, right? I mean, it kind of disappears, but at the same time, like,
Buyback, or it could be a 50-50 halvesies. If it was the same and then it just showed buybacks. That's the big thing that I don't like. Because if you have a fight, 3 people buy back, the graph can look like
they
it
could have.
didn't
Why don't they have
really-
them overlaid on top of each other? And
Now, that would be cool. It could plot some intersections,
Yeah.
piecewise functions.
like
and
when
shit.
when they buy back, it just goes to a separate chart.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
We can
Now-
do that.
Now we're thinking. Now
Yeah.
we're thinking. I like it. PSST will move into the Roche pit as he has Respond. Finith is up top, just creating some space, keeping him busy. And, well, little do they know, map control is still vastly in favor of PSST. Not even scouted, completely uncontested. And
Now is the time to push. They have Scotty on Slark. They have a Necro 3 on Beastmaster. They have an Aegis on a Storm and Bloodstone. This is the time to hit. While
It
the
certainly
iron is
is.
super hot.
Yes. Venge has now picked up a Ghost Scepter.
Oh, I thought he was going to get caught out. If he got pounced before that.
This could be a little bit of a base race, though. We've got X up top pressuring the Tier 3 tower with those Treants.
They have to retreat. Their push is way too strong if left unchecked.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to get blinked on, and he's going to... Oh, he is dead.
Oh.
He doesn't have a BKB TP.
Yep, Luna's in trouble. He doesn't have a BKB. He does have the TP, but not going to be enough.
Yeah, BKB TP wouldn't even save him there.
Yeah, Roar. Roar cuts right through that. Black King Bar. Dro does have a Manta up now, so her farm is improving. She's got her first core item. That might is starting to kick in a little bit.
45 minutes in, though. It's weak sauce.
Uh-oh, down bottom. Knive, you're in big trouble. Finith will find a solo kill, or will he? Yes, indeed. That was close, though. Nature's Prophet tried to make it out, and he was, well, just on the brink of being able to escape.
Yep. A little bit unfortunate for him.
Good reaction time, though. He had the right idea.
Yes, he did. Stark's probably going to go Basher next, though.
Yep.
Which will render... Oh, Luna's not even going for BKB either. This is a BKB-less team. Storm's just going to go to town
Yeah.
if they split push.
Yeah,
Which...
Yeah, Venge with the Ghost Scepter is kind of interesting here. When I first said it, I was like, yeah, Ghost Scepter, not she's going to survive, but they've got enough magic damage that, I mean, I don't know.
She just... who cares if Avenge
Yeah, I
survives?
don't know. That seems like an odd choice here.
I would go for like a... Force isn't that useful, though, because it can't save you from Stark pounce.
I would have just bought a gem, honestly. Get some map control back.
That's not a bad idea either. Or drums. Drums would be very useful.
Drums?
Oh, no, there's a drums up on
Okay, yeah,
Luna.
Luna has it, so that's
Yeah.
fair enough. And
She
there's
could go HP.
even just a Force Staff. That's
Yeah.
pretty good on Venge.
It is.
It's hard to deny the power.
Casual point booster, man.
Casual point booster.
Finith, again, uses his ultimate on tower, but they are going to glyph it.
This time he forces out the glyph, so I can understand it a little bit better, but they're going to go on him. Where's that nether swap? They don't need it because they don't have detection.
They need that gem investment.
Yeah. Oh, that
That would have been a huge kill.
that would have been
Finith is just playing very riskily, though. Like, there's no net. They can just
Riskily.
push with necro books.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, this now that the glyph is down, this Rax is, even if they don't commit to this fight, they have enough minions that they should be able to do some pretty crippling damage. They've got the Wild Wing Ripper as well.
Ooh, he
for that
stole the
armor
necro book.
Uh-oh. Don't touch
Oh,
my necro
no,
book.
no, it got re-enchanted back.
Oh, good. Oh, look at this Wild Wing Ripper versus Wild Wing Ripper. Cannibalism. Bird going after bird.
This
Meanwhile,
split push.
Relic in mid. Yeah, he takes down that tier 3 tower below half health. So that's already a victory here. Still no glyph available. They'll just wait for the next wave of creeps. Both these racks very low. PSST are just going to...
It's time for Relic to join the team.
Yeah.
Here he goes.
I think they can dive here. Chen does have everything but the mech up. So this is actually a good opportunity for him to hop in.
Wow, Drow Ranger actually has her buyback off cooldown now. It's been 6 minutes since she last died.
Yeah, they've bought some time. Relic will head back to the mid lane while the siege down bottom continues. I like that PSST are being patient here, abusing the ultimate from Slark a little bit to just slowly chip at these buildings. They get the melee racks. Ranged racks will start taking a bit more damage, though. As always, a less higher profile target, and it doesn't regen, so not as much...
They
not
can
as
just
much
swap
incentive.
now. They can just put Relic bottom to sneak down that Rax and to initiate on them from the high ground.
A lot of buybacks available here, though.
Radiant's bottom
Enchantress and
barracks
Venge,
are
the
under
only two
attack.
without it.
They still have a good 2 minutes left until the Aegis despawns.
9 charges on the Bloodstone. There's that Wrath of Nature, gonna do a little bit of damage.
Come get healed.
He's tanking tower, no bigs.
Oh, man. I've always wanted to be a voice actor. How cool would it be to be the voice of Zeus?
Here I am.
This fight is about to go down. THD, they have to do something. They just let the bottom racks fall for free.
Yeah.
So they have to go.
Oh, big silence from Dro. Actually doing a lot of damage to this Storm. He does walk away with 150 hit points to spare. There's the roar used on Luna. She's in big trouble. And the Hand of God comes out. Will keep her alive. Storm hops in. He'll be the first to fall. Vengeful Spirit falls shortly after. More silencing from Dro, but X in big trouble. The Zip will finish her off. Now they're going to dive into the tier 4s, or will they? Finith thinking about it. Doesn't
Eyes on the prize.
Yeah, they're going to go back for the racks. Dro will buy back, but not before tapping out. GG, well played. The pushers got out-pushed, Merlini.
They did indeed. They got outlaned.
Yep.
I don't think it was. I don't know. I didn't really like the Drow pick just because it kind of pigeonholed their strategy into having one big strength at pushing, but not really good at anything else. And if you can't push, then their strat is just terrible.
Yeah.
So that's
that sounds harsh, but it's so true. If you can't push with an all-in pushing strat, then.
Right. But PSST did a very good job with that level 1 smoking. That level 1 smoking was really key to setting the ball rolling, because if they got behind early, then THD would have just dominated them through push, but they just never got to that point in the game.
It would have been interesting, though, if that gank didn't go that well, if it was just a single kill and they walked away. Do you think it would have gone a lot differently had that smoke not happened?
They would have been able to at least repel them, like either probably like downhill, like to the left of the rune spot, so they can have the uphill advantage, and they can't really fight into that. They have a lot of right click, they just don't have that great stuns. Right. So I think it would have been okay, because then they actually could have repelled the Enchantress too.
Okay.
But that was a big deal. It wasn't the 3 kills. It was the fact that Enchantress was able to offensively jungle. If you don't let her go up your cliff, then Enchantress is not very useful, because she's an aggressive jungler, not a passive jungler.
Makes a lot of sense.
But
a pretty intense game, though. I'm glad we actually got to see an aura strat. Like I said, this is something that is easy to theory craft. People talk about it on paper a lot. It's interesting to see it in practice, though. Unfortunately, it didn't go so well. Dro Ranger. Who do you think would have been a better pick instead of Dro for the mid to still have this pushing strat be successful?
I think a Beastmaster would have worked out well for them. Like they needed some sort of initiator, right? Yeah. Like any initiator, I think would have worked decently too.
Clockwork mid.
Clockwork mid's not bad. It's okay. They just needed some way to like get them to fight, but they just like spammed axes whenever they pushed, and then they couldn't push into that. So or a mech bearer too. Pugna would have been like ridiculously good.
That could have been interesting.
Yeah, because you can't fight into the ward, but if you don't fight into the ward, you lose your tower. So
the classic pushing hero, and they didn't go for the Pugna. It didn't even cross my mind, but I guess it should.
Pugna would have been much better, but it's just Drow Ranger is just not very good.
Then it wouldn't have been the aura strat.
I know. Well, they have the Nether Ward minus mana aura. Hello.
There you go. There you go. So that wraps up our coverage today, guys. But we do have plenty more Dota action coming your way over the next few days. Tomorrow, we have the next round of the winners bracket. So the best of threes begin tomorrow. I know Merlini's excited about the best of threes. Today was a short day, 2 best of ones. Tomorrow will be a little bit longer. We've got 2 best of threes coming up. We'll have, let's look at the schedule here, Dignotoss versus Team Dog as our first best of 3. Then after that, it will be Union versus Osiris. They are tentatively scheduled to start at 1700 Eastern, which is 2 o'clock Pacific.
Yes.
Though that is subject to change. As today, we started an hour earlier than originally planned.
Both matches started.
Both matches started early. So keep your ear to the drum. The schedule has been changing. Of course, scheduling with teams is always a difficulty. So that's the tentative schedule for now, but that will be our coverage tomorrow. Another exciting day of Dota, Merlini. Closing thoughts?
The winners bracket is always more exciting, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who do we have? We have Dignotoss versus Team Dog and Union versus Osiris. Yeah. Those are both going to be pretty good games. Union just like barely squeaked out a win. I think Osiris will beat them pretty handily. And then Dignotoss versus Team Dog. Dignotoss didn't really have that much of a test in the first match, so it was very difficult to gauge their skill.
Yeah. And I think Team Dogs are the pretty heavy favorites. It'll be exciting to see.
Who do you think is going to make it out of the, if you had to pick 2 teams of the remaining 6?
Right. That's a good thing to point out. In this tournament, there is no first place. It's the top 2 qualify, so we only go to the finals of the losers bracket.
Let's exclude Team Dog, because I think
exclude Team Dog. So who's the? I think they're the clear favorites that are.
Who would be second? Well, if you don't want to pick Team Dog, that's fine.
No, I definitely would have said Team Dog. I honestly think PSST are looking pretty solid. Of course,
they got crushed by Osiris yesterday, though.
They did, but I have a little bit of faith. They looked good in this game.
What about Wild Witch Doctors?
I like the way they drafted this game. Well, Wild Witch Doctors as
They,
well.
they had to play versus Team Dog, but if they don't have to play Team Dog, then I think they can fare very well.
That's actually a really good point. I forgot that WWD had the hardest starting match, so they got knocked down maybe prematurely to the losers bracket. Yeah, WWD and Team Dog are probably the safe choice, but I have a little bit of faith in PSST. I think they might surprise us a little bit.
I think it's toss-up in between Osiris, PSST, and WWD. PSST did lose out to Osiris yesterday, but I think that was they did not execute very well. I think if they just first ban Naga, they'll have a much easier chance.
Yeah, that game was a weird kind of...
It was a weird game. It wasn't a true display of skill,
yeah.
I'd say. So it's still difficult to see who's the clear winner in between those two teams. And who was the last one? Osiris, PSST, and Wild Witch Doctors. Wild Witch Doctors, I don't know. They've had some...
ups and downs.
They've had their ups and downs too,
Yeah.
so I don't think they'll be consistent enough to make it in the final team, but they might actually be better than the second place if they don't make it. So if I had to pick one, I guess I would say...
You're going with the Witch Doctors.
No, I'll go with Osiris, I think.
Osiris?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's a fun little tournament we have going on here. I like seeing these lesser-known North American teams. I have faith in PSST because I like the way they drafted.
This is much better Dota than the MLG North American qualifiers that I casted. The teams actually have their stuff together.
Yeah. It feels like real teams for the most part. Like, it's not just a group of guys, hey, yeah, you're cool, let's play. These are actually, like, they've been working together, they have some communication.
They have good strats, they have good decent drafts, and good teamwork.
Yeah. Well, I like how PSST used the Beastmaster here, because at first I was like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. I don't know, like, we were nervous about their level of anti-push, but as you pointed out, against a weak laner like Dro, really good.
Did they have last pick? Was it last pick Beastmaster or was it last pick Dro?
Both. They were the last two picks.
No, I mean, which one was the very last pick? Did they pick a Dro into a Beastmaster, or did they pick Beastmaster into a Dro?
Shit, that's a good question. It might have been last pick.
Who had the first pick? It was an opening Enchantress pick.
Yeah.
So first pick has last pick, so it was Beastmaster against a Drow. So they knew their lane would be weak.
Yeah.
Versus in middle, it's either a Luna or a Drow Ranger or a Nature's Prophet. All of
those are weak compared to a Beastmaster. It just ended up working really well. I didn't see how it fit into the draft right away, and then it became clear in that game. And I think it was a smart read.
It could have. It was a really smart read, and it was just well played by Last Set Magic too.
Yeah. That's true. And starting off with a double kill in the jungle, not a bad way to get your...
Not a bad way at all. When you have your bottle, before creep spawn, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, we actually saw that more than once today. Actually both games today. The one of the mid heroes basically started with a bottle because of First Blood.
It's an important thing to do. They just were caught off guard. I think the first game it was just they weren't actually there in time. They were actually there in time, but they outplayed them by smoking around up the cliff. So
right.
That was pretty smart.
Yeah, pretty clutch. Well, so that wraps up our coverage today. We'll be back tomorrow in the afternoon, same time, same place here on the Dota Starladder _EN channel. I'm Zyori, this guy's Merlini, and I think we're both going to head off to our own personal streams. We got a long evening of streaming, so plenty of Dota coming from the BTS house today.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. If you like this guy, you can follow him on Twitter, ZioriTV. I myself am
Merlini Dota.
And then you can also follow the Starladder and Beyond the Summit.
And Beyond the Summit. Lots of Twitters. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.